Across his life, both as a Beatle and as a solo artist, John Lennon's view of the band that made him famous kept changing, shaped by time, distance, and the emotional scars that came with it. Yet even as his feelings toward the Beatles shifted, certain truths, his love for authenticity and for the power of a song that spoke from the heart, never wavered. In the years after the band's breakup, Lennon often looked back on their music with a mix of nostalgia and honesty. He dissected the Beatles' catalog in countless interviews, revealing which songs still stirred something in him and which no longer did. While the world endlessly analyzed his creative bond with Paul McCartney, his reflections on George Harrison's songwriting remained far quieter, but no less meaningful. Harrison had begun writing earlier than many fans realized, starting with Don't Bother Me. But it was Taxman, a razor-sharp political jab opening the Revolver album, that marked his true emergence as a songwriter. Lennon once recalled that George had reached out for help with the lyrics, turning to him instead of Paul, who at that time might not have been as supportive. Lennon admitted he was reluctant at first, worn down by his own workload, but he helped anyway, because George had asked and because he cared. Though he admired Taxman, it wasn't the Harrison song that touched him most deeply. Despite his growing talent, George often found it difficult to carve out his space beside Lennon and McCartney's towering partnership. As Bob Dylan once quipped, who wouldn't struggle behind those two? That creative imbalance became especially clear during the making of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. For George, the sessions felt less like collaboration and more like construction, an endless cycle of overdubs and isolation. Fresh from a soul-awakening trip to India, he found himself detached from the costume and concept of Pepper, describing it later as hard work that left him uninspired, a job that no longer aligned with his spirit. Yet even in that alienation, Harrison delivered one of the album's most transcendent moments, Within You, Without You. Born from his fascination with Indian music and mysticism, it became a spiritual statement more than a pop song. George composed it one quiet evening while playing a pedal harmonium at a friend's home in Hampstead, its melody flowing from the lessons he had absorbed from sitar master Ravi Shankar. Inspired by a long, intricate piece Shankar had written for All India Radio, George condensed the idea into a meditative fusion of East and West. He recorded it alone in London, without the other Beatles, letting the sound of Indian strings and tablas carry his message of unity and inner peace. Within You, Without You would become one of Harrison's defining creations, and the one Lennon admired most. What captivated John wasn't just its beauty, but its honesty. To him, it was real, untouched by ego, stripped of pretense, and alive with spiritual truth. That raw sense of reality was the thread running through all of Lennon's musical loves. Whenever he was asked about his favorite Beatles songs, his answers revealed the same pattern, tracks that bared emotion without disguise. He named I Am the Walrus, Strawberry Fields Forever, Help, and In My Life among his most personal, later including I Want to Hold Your Hand for its unfiltered joy. For Lennon, the greatest songs, whether his own or George Harrison's, were those that dared to be human, that reached beyond perfection and simply told the truth.